President now recognizes Senator McMorrow.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to give my no vote explanation on the bill. I talk with small business owners every single day who are on the verge of losing everything, who haven't seen the federal support come through as it goes to big businesses, who are pained by the uncertainty of the future. And my colleague is right, uncertainty is terrifying. I talk with people who are mad and tired and sad and confused and anxious. I spoke with a landscaper in Troy who owns a small operation, just him and one other guy. He said his business is only on or off. So as he's looking at what the economy reopening might look like, will it be enough to sustain his business? The other guy he employs is older, one with a history of lung issues. And he said, I don't want to open back up too early and get him sick. I just couldn't live with it. This conversation symbolizes where a lot of us are, grappling with a public health crisis and an economic crisis simultaneously. There is no playbook and there are no easy answers. What we do know is that if every single person in the country were to freeze in place 6 feet apart for 2 weeks, the 14-day incubation period of this virus, it would stop dead in its tracks. It wouldn't be alive on any surfaces, it wouldn't transfer to other people, and it would be done. But we can't. We know that we need food and farmers and nurses and doctors and mail carriers, so there are a certain number of people who have to be out and about. And while it was districts like mine and some of my colleagues who were hit hardest first, the virus is starting to spread to the rest of our state. It doesn't care about county lines. A constituent shared that he'd just lost a family member to COVID-19, that his loved one died alone, choking on her own mucus, that she never got to say goodbye to her kids and was thrown in a body bag with bleach because embalming is just too dangerous right now, and that she was buried in that bag alone with no funeral by strangers in hazmat suits. I know how hard it is for people to see how deadly and devastating this virus is unless it's impacted you personally. My husband, Ray, I love him to death. He's incredible. He has been volunteering almost every single day at the drive-through testing site at the state fairgrounds, where he sees hundreds and hundreds of people, including friends of ours, from Detroit, Macomb, Wayne, and Oakland, who are sick, and who are some very sick, and who are scared and looking for help. I also know how uncertain it is as a business owner or someone who's lost their job and has bills to pay, or doesn't know when their kids are going to go back to school, who sees the future with growing fear and anxiety and anger because we're going to be in this for the long haul. Uncertainty is terrifying. Everyone, regardless of who you are in this state, has lost something: a loved one, a job, a routine, human connection, even just a favorite hobby. We listen and we see. My entire day is nonstop calls with people who are angry and depressed and scared and want someone or something to blame. I wish I could take that blame and I wish I could fix it, desperately. That's what I wish we were doing here today, helping. But the majority didn't call us here to help the firefighter who doesn't have enough PPE, who's sleeping in a tent in his backyard because he's afraid to bring the virus in to infect his family. They called us here for a political stunt. The majority didn't call us here to help ensure that those scared small business owners get the relief they so desperately need instead of large chains. The bill sponsor called us here to change the state of emergency declaration from 28 days to 14 days, knowing that the governor, and any governor, will veto it. The majority didn't call us here to put forward any of the solutions from the bipartisan task force on safe workplaces to ensure that when we send people back to work, that we're not sending them to die. Like the 10 people from the Post Foods plant in Battle Creek who have tested positive, some who are hospitalized right now, or my constituent in Troy who worked at Kroger and just made sure that we all had food to put on our table and is now dead. They called us here for a political stunt, and I think that's shameful. The day after Michigan saw its largest increase in positive cases since April 14th, when we're seeing cases rise across the state, when nearly 3,000 of our friends and neighbors and family members across the state have died, the majority didn't call us here to help them. There are thousands of people in each of our districts who are scared and anxious and desperately looking for help. They say we're all in this together. And they've said we cannot let this be partisan. But actions speak a lot louder than words. And I'd like my remarks printed in the journal.
Senator McMorrow asks that her remarks be printed in the journal. Without objection, that is so ordered. The President recognizes Majority Floor Leader McGregor.
Pass.
Is there further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the question again is on the passage of Senate Bill 858. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. The Senate will proceed to vote. Seeing all members present having voted without objection, the Secretary will close the board and announce the vote.
Mr. President, on the passage of Senate Bill 858, there were 22 aye votes, 15 no votes, and 1 excused.
Majority of members elected and serving having voted, therefore, the bill is passed.